Good afternoon. We are Capstone Constructors. I'd like to begin by making our introductions. We have our Vice President, Mr. Matt Copeland here, our Senior Operations Manager, Mr. Paul Stock, our Senior Project Manager, Blake Lavender. This is our Project Manager, Mr. Luke Palumbo, and your Superintendent, Mr. Trey Prio. The unique thing about Capstone Constructors and this project team individually is we've worked together since 2003. We've been together for 6 years, this exact same project team. We've successfully completed 3 projects, all LEED accredited, including 1 platinum, which we do believe, as Mr. Palumbo will touch on later, platinum status can be achieved on this NASA project as well. We're currently finishing up a 4th, which is coming in on time and under budget. We just have a lot of experience together. We feel that is a huge strong point, a huge selling feature for our project team on this project in particular. Beginning with the EPA National Computing Center that we built in 2006 and 2007, we got to deal very closely with the federal acquisitions regulations. A few points of the FAR that we feel are very important, one being the Buy American Act. Now, this is something that we feel is extremely important, especially with the state of the economy as it is right now, buying American-made products, using American labor. As you can see on the front of this building here, there are a lot of windows. As part of the LEED certification, these windows had to be glazed. Now, the same type of windows will be going into the JFC project. The only problem, the windows are made in America, but the glazing is not. That falls under the clause of non-availability of that act. So we have dealt with a company in Colombia that does the glazing. We can ship the windows down to them, they glaze it, send it back. Same process can be used on the JFC project. Now, the shipping costs have been included in our budget, which is reflected at the end of this presentation. We also, as you can see down here, front gate, this was a security project, as is NASA. We are fully aware of the procedures of getting people checked in, making sure the proper people are on the job. What we have done on this project is provided the security gates with lists of all the employees and workers that will be on the site so that they can go ahead and do a preliminary background check. So when they arrive for that first day of work, they've already been checked out, they've gotten the yes, they've gotten the no, their badges are waiting for them, get them in the site as quick as possible to start work and get the schedule moving. Historically underutilized businesses, another clause in FAR that we take very seriously. We make a substantial effort to include hubs in all of our projects as it's required that are government jobs. This project in particular, we were able to get a 27% hub participation rate. We have the same goal for the NASA project. It's outlined under the subcontracting portion of our proposal there. Moving on to safety. Capstone takes safety very seriously. This is something that our company prides, something that we always strive to better ourselves at. We're constantly trying to catch problems, trying to find ways to improve on it. On this project in particular, we started something called the OSHA Share Program. We joined up with that, basically teaming up with OSHA to try and ensure the safest quality job site that we can. We currently have EMR of 0.76. This project team, together, as I've said earlier, has operated the past 6 years, has an impeccable safety record. That's largely in part due to Mr. Palumbo and Mr. Prio's on-site project team. We've kept our minor incidences down to a minimum, and nothing major has even had a reportable accident. So they've done a very good job of keeping things safe on site. On this EPA project, we had a few points we'd like to make that run similarities with NASA. We had to tap into some existing utility tunnels. We know this falls under some confined spaces, entrance and stuff like that. We noticed that there's a utility tunnel that runs through the NASA site. This will require us to notify the proper safety officials that are on site. We've done our best to go ahead and follow their guidelines as well as our own safety practices before entering those sites. Mr. Prio has been on site for all of our confined space entries, has abided by all the rules, abided by all the proper safety procedures, and has been able to pull it all off flawlessly. And plan to use the same plan for any confined space entry at NASA. On this project in particular, at EPA National Computing Center, we also implemented a new safety program that's kind of unique to Capstone. It was a crane safety program. With all the crane accidents that were happening in the country at that time, we felt that was an issue that we really needed to tackle and try and address for ourselves. What this includes is a rigging plan before the cranes are even on site. We want to know where they're going to set up, what they're going to lift, how they're going to lift it, and who's going to be around. An inspection before they're going to be on site, and proof of insurance. We want to make sure that they are insured. We want to make sure that their operators are qualified to operate the equipment that they're qualified to, or that they are licensed to operate. What this does basically just ensures to us and ensures to everybody around that we have taken the safety precautions to make sure that everything that's being lifted or set in place has been planned, thought through, and will be done the safest way possible. All this paperwork has been made by Capstone, has been delivered to all the crane companies that we use, so they already have this information. We've been doing it for about 4 years now, and haven't had a problem at all. Everybody's been able to oblige us with filling out that paperwork before they even get on site. This safety team consisting of Mr. Palumbo and Mr. Prio that have been on this project, or this project team's job sites in particular. As I've said, have had an impeccable safety record. I have all the confidence in the world in this team as far as keeping the job site safe, and our record speaks for itself. You guys will agree that these guys are extremely qualified and very capable of running a safe job site after working with us. I'd like to turn things over to Mr. Palumbo now. He's going to talk to you about our lead history, our lead abilities, and our expectations.
All right. I want to start by saying not only do we plan to meet the lead requirements on this project, but we plan to exceed them. And we also plan to do that by staying within the parameters of the project, meaning we're going to keep the project on schedule and under budget. And the reason I say this and the reason I know this will happen is simple. Like he said, it's our project team. Everybody on this project team are lead APs, but more important than being the lead AP, they're all lead APs that have worked together on the last 3 consecutive all-lead projects, including the Platinum Project. The Haifa International Headquarters was our Platinum Project, and I want to talk about a couple of things. One, systems that are also going to be incorporated into the NASA Building 20 that we have experience working on. And secondly, systems that we installed on Haifa that we would like to bring over to the NASA project to help us reach the Platinum level. The first system that we have experience on are the aluminum louvers, which are going to fall on the south wall of the building, which you can see there on the model. Another are the solar panels that are going to be on the roof. Now they're going to serve the purpose of heating the water for the building, and they're going to be right near the break in the curtain wall behind it. Also, with the Albedo roof, we are going to try and achieve an SRI. They require 78. We like to go a little bit higher, and on this one we did achieve a 78. So we do have experience with all these systems. We know how to install them. We know how to work with the subs. We know the lead times. We know these systems. Now I want to talk about a few of the systems that we put into Haifa that we would like to put into this project as well. Starting with the innovative wastewater technologies. Now some of the obvious things are your waterless urinals, your high efficiency fixtures, but what we think will help us really get this is the gray water. Because there's going to be bathrooms on the first floor and showers for people biking to work, which is another lead credit that applies. We figure we can use that as an opportunity to have more gray water. And we can recycle and reuse that gray water, and that'll help us get this credit. In addition, that could bring us from our 20% to maybe even the 30%, which will help us get another credit. Also, we had an M&V plan on the Haifa International Project, a measurement verification plan that we'd like to also use and install here. We did 2 things. We had an energy simulation software. It allowed us to track and see how energy would be consumed in the building, and also we had monitoring devices that tracked how much water and energy was used on the project, another system of actually monitoring as compared to a simulation. So those are just some of the systems. The rest of them have been outlined in the proposal. All of our, what we call our maybe credits, what we would like to do to get Platinum, are outlined in our proposal. Additionally, we do keep all lead documentation electronic as a contingency plan. We will still provide paper and hard copies for NASA as is required. Now I'm going to let Mr. Paul Stock talk to you about our quality control program. It is a program that is unique to Capstone Constructors. We feel it is one of it's something we really pride ourselves on, and something that's really unique to our company. Paul?
Like Mr. Palumbo said, our quality control program is something that we pride upon. About 3 years ago, me and Trey actually created it in the Haifa project here that's listed above. Was the first project we used it on. It actually increased our efficiency and productivity from 15 to 20% on the job, which is pretty impressive. A couple of things that I just want to show you all about. Every week we'll have meetings and we'll create a report on how our building systems are coming into the project, and we're going to meet with all our subcontractors and the foremen and superintendents, and we'll walk the job. And we have a checklist right here. Right here is a Division 7, which includes all our drywall and interior metal framing, and we have a safety card. These are just 2 examples. We have these for every division, and so we'll take this information, create a report, and that just tells us how efficient and how productive our job is going, and what things we can do to fix if we have any errors. I know